just such a wild ride.
Everyone said it wouldn't work.
The new direction!
Nobody could have ever predicted how much of a phenomenon this was.
For better or for worse, we were kind of everywhere for a period of time.
I mean, it really was at its height. It was insane.
What are you wearing?
It's a unitard.
This show has really impacted kids and adults because we're all basically still in high school.
When you see the joy in people who come up to you, who love Glee, there's nothing like that in the world.
The show sort of opened a lot of eyes, including our own.
The show represented so many people, and it really spoke to so many people.
And me too.
It really has changed television.
It's even better than your dreams coming true. It's something you could have never anticipated coming true.
You just have to do your best, hope to make a difference.
Well, you made a difference with me. But at the end of the day, it's really about what we created in this room together as a cast, and that's something that I think has just brought us such extreme joy.
I think when we started, we wanted a Glee Club that was full of misfits, and we didn't want them to look like TV stars. We wanted real people who looked weird, who were all the weird types.
There's never been a show before that's really taken in Broadway performers and theater performers. And if I could have picked a show for myself, this definitely would have been it.
You think this is hard? Try being waterboarded. That's hard.
I read the script, the Glee pilot script, and when they described Sue Sylvester, it said she may or may not have posed for Penthouse. She may or may not be on horse estrogen. And I thought, oh, this is somebody I want to play.
Mercedes, we need new costumes, and they have got to be cool. Can you do that?
Damn, don't you see what I got on?
Well, the pilot, I was so new, so nervous.
I remember Ryan coming into the room and being like, "Are you guys nervous?" And we're like, "Mm-hmm." He's like, "Don't be nervous, we're very excited." It's like they were just so excited and wanted everybody to feel comfortable giving their best.
The pilot was so long. I mean, we shot for such a long time and rehearsed for such a long time, probably 2 or 3 weeks before we shot it.
We had more time to learn dances because we were all very, Zach and Brooke were getting to know us, people who had never danced before.
At the beginning, there was a lot of teaching just to walk in straight lines. We would hold hands and let's walk together just to get people on that base. Not many people had any sort of dance training.
Right, left, right.
Later on, their abilities got better. I mean, I remember the first time that Cory was like, oh, so I'm gonna do a kickball change. And you're like, you know what a kickball change is now? Like, that's great.
But I really couldn't.
Sing.
I could never really.
Sing.
What I couldn't do was
Sing.
It was called Sing, but I wasn't really singing. It was like everything was off-pitched on purpose. And that was actually harder to do because they were like, oh, it sounds too good. You need to make it sound worse.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yay.
Nailed it.
It's always hard when you combine so many different types of voices. And, that was a big part of the challenge early on as we kind of grew together.
Those Anders boys had their hands full. But yeah, I learned a lot working with them, which is cool.
I remember with Leah, obviously a phenomenal vocal talent and incredible voice, but she had sung a certain way her whole life. She was comfortable singing Broadway, so when she had to do a Rihanna song, I think early on, she was like, what is this? I don't know how to do this. So you put your arm around them and you go, let's go.
Okay.
We made those first 13 episodes, minus the pilot. Nobody had seen anything. It was like this weird vacuum, like alternate universe where nobody knew what we were doing. And we were excited about it.
The community of Glee, in terms of the people involved in it, really formed during that period of time because it was just us. And it was so wonderful then because when the success hit, it was us together doing it.
It was really special. The chemistry between the kids was so fun and so real.
I mean, I remember shooting that sectionals episode and finishing and everyone being like, what now? And just being like, I don't know. We're gonna start airing, we'll see.
It blew up like really quick.
It was crazy, it was like the Beatles, it was Beatlemania.
Everybody was talking about it. I have goosebumps.
Every magazine, we were on tour, we were everywhere.
okay, I've never been on tour before, but I love to sing, so let's do it.
Performing at the O2 or the Staples Center.
It was not possible that we were selling out Radio City Music Hall. People were camping out outside Radio City Music Hall.
I mean, we had 9 of the top 10 at the same time on iTunes. That's never happened before.
I hope people remember that because it's like, that's not us. That's the people watching it and the people who actually liked it.
The magnitude of the show in that sense is what is the most humbling.
It's hard to explain to people what it was like to go from just being on a pilot to being on Oprah and meeting the president.
It's funny, you walk around Paris and stuff and you hear like, Matthew Morrison, you know, again, just different accents and stuff. It's just wild.
Get out, bitch! Every time I go places, like to restaurants, they come and they say, oh my God, are you Becky Jackson? I'm like, heck yes.
I mean, I never expected to have a wax figure. I can't even say that was on my list. There were so many things that happened to me in the 6.5 years of this show that were too preposterous to even ask for.
And this is how Sue sees it.
I think everybody went through the gauntlet of that explosion of it. I think everybody came out much better on the other side.
We clung to each other, and there was this sort of outside world going on around us that we didn't know.
We all kind of came up together. One helped the other.
That's what got us kind of through that excitement, and we did it together, and it's memories that we'll always have.
I can look at my cast members who went through that with me, and we will always have that bond, and that's what makes us a family.
I feel like Cory's still here with us, and like he single-handedly changed the lives of so many people.
That's to always remind you that you are the almighty treble clef, the uniter of glee clubs, and the uniter of friends.
Wow. We wanted to include Finn and Cory in that last episode. I mean, if anybody made that glee club happen, it was him.
Cory was a great guy, and he was the quarterback of the show. He was a leader on the show, on stage and off, and, you know, he's still missed.
He was my person.
You know, he's looking down somewhere and seeing all this kind of come to a close, and I hope we made him proud.
And I said to myself, sit down, you're rocking the boat. Sit down, you're rocking.
We suck. I've been listening to some Glee songs driving to work these past couple of days, just sort of, having my memory moments. And I'll listen to one song and I'll be like, that was the best. And then the next song will come on and I'll be like, no, that one was.
We started off with a pilot with 2 big songs. Here we are 800 more later. I'm shell-shocked, I think, at this point.
My all-time favorite was probably doing Bohemian Rhapsody. I had the time of my life doing that.
The one that immediately jumps out was Criss singing to Mike O'Malley in the hospital, I Want to Hold Your Hand.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Oh my God, you read my mind! It was like so good.
Obviously, Single Ladies on the football field. That episode was really, I think, when the people finally got the show. I mean, if you look at like the iconic moments of the show, you gotta think that Single Ladies dance and Don't Stop.
That was a beautiful arrangement of Don't Stop Believing. It was such a unique take, and I thought it was just so, delicious.
I must admit it helped a little bit.
I loved Bust Your Windows. You want me to dance on top of a car? Got it.
Anybody find me
Somebody to Love. That was like the first one where we all, as a group of 12, really connected. And we were like, oh, this is cool.
You will each perform a mashup of your choice.
What's a mashup?
The first boys and girls mashup we ever did. That was really special.
Moulin Rouge is one of my favorite movies, so I got to be in a legally similar version of Moulin Rouge, and we did Come What May.
One of the ones that's heart-wrenching for me is when the girls sang Shake It Off.
And, you know, when they were trying to coax me to get out of the abusive relationship when I showed up at school with a black eye, that's one that will forever be in my heart. Thank you.
There were songs deliberately designed to try to manipulate Sylvester. So we did like an Air Supply song that like could not have been more awesome.
Like Make 'em Laugh was one of my favorites to do because it combined physical comedy with dance. Man, to work with Matt and how we trained for the flips.
So we went to like this gymnasium where all these like parkour, like acrobat people were there, and we were just doing all this acrobatic stuff that we've never done before.
I watched them for maybe like 7 hours or something like that. They did it themselves the whole time.
That was probably one of the coolest things that I've done on the show.
People love being surprised by the music. I think they got a little irritated after a little while that we were doing the theme ones, but then I think they came around again and realized how cool it was. Madonna, Ryan loves Madonna, and he directed that episode beautifully, and I think he was just, we have to do Madonna, and he was right, because you can't talk about music and sexuality and theatricality without talking about Madonna.
Vogue, take one, and action.
Strike a pose. That was probably the most extensively prepared for musical number that we've done on Glee. I know for me anyway, I started to learn the dance about a month before.
It's one of our best episodes. It has to be one of our top 10 or 5 episodes, I think, you know.
Vogue. Absolutely the most fun I think Zach and I ever had was Matt and Jama's when we did the rotating room.
Here we go. Ba, 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 ba. We only did 5 takes because it was so difficult. I was so sore for days after that because you were using muscles you never used before because it was just so awkward.
It's kind of an experience of a lifetime. You spent the next 3 or 4 days thinking that your walls were falling down and that your kitchen sink was dropping to the floor. It probably took a good 4 days before not being seasick anymore from the rotating room.
Mostly though, when we get to watch those duets in the choir room, I would think that more than anything I will miss being in the choir room, getting to watch those performances.
You know, it's funny, I was at the Grammys this year and people, you know, in the business were saying, you know, it's good Glee's over for them because every time they tried to put music in a movie or TV show, people just say, it sounds like Glee, even if it didn't. So when people start singing, Glee was so big, if you start singing in a TV show or movie, you just automatically assume it sounds like Glee.
You know, if anything that I'm gonna miss the most, it's that, you know, there's no place else we're gonna ever be able to tell such a wide variety of stories and do anything and put our characters in any costume. You have Becky Jackson as Nicki Minaj. Like, I'm sorry, I just won't happen again, you know?
You are Nicki Minaj's biggest fan.
Minaj!
Inside voice, Becky.
Now that's an entrance.
Mr. Director, I take that wall out right?
Some of my favorite moments are the guest stars.
What exactly are you doing here, Lindsay Lohan?
I hate you, Diane Sawyer.
Impress me.
We really lucked out with our guest stars.
Will you sign my breast?
My pleasure.
It was very easy to get most people to say yes as long as they got to sing.
There's been quite a large amount of talent that has come through this room.
You're really hot.
You're sweet. Welcome to Vogue.com.
Good news, Suze. We finally caught the last Nazi.
Oh my gosh, we had so much fun.
Please don't distract me. I'm trying out for the role of Jean Valjean.
Working with Kate Hudson. Oh, she's just the best.
She's fun, and she's kind of badass.
I'm coming down here to give you a big New York City welcome. You suck.
Singing in the Rain umbrella mashup that I got to do with Gwyneth Paltrow. Just sloshing around in water all day. It was so much fun.
Let's get physical, physical. I wanna get physical.
Physical with Olivia Newton-John, and she's become a friend. I love her. She played a judge with Josh Groban, and my favorite line that I ever got to say was, "Kiss my ass, Josh Groban."
I loved all my duets with Criss and Jenna with. I don't know, she's like a little fireball.
Stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
What do you expect from us? We're people. I know the rest of the world may not see us like that, but when they tease us and throw stuff at us and toss us in dumpsters and tell us that we're nothing but losers with stupid dreams, it freaking hurts.
I'm so proud to be a part of a show that was funny and entertaining, but at the same time was helping kids to see characters that looked like themselves or were going through things that they were going through. I'm pregnant.
We weren't the richest and the most glamorous and the most beautiful. It was the underdogs, and we made them cool. Fans would come up and say, I am you.
Mercedes is black. I'm gay. We make culture.
You can be whoever you want to be on Glee. And it teaches you that that's okay. You can be whoever you want to be.
If having her in my family means not having you, then that's a trade I'll take any day.
That's part of what was so attractive about the show to so many people, was that you just felt like, I want to go where these people are going and see what happens to them.
I'm gay.
I know.
The writers, specifically Ryan, Brad, and Ian, the way that they would take risks. I think Glee will be remembered as the start of a lot of conversations in homes.
You're not like Rock Hudson gay, you're really gay. You sing like Diana Ross, and you dress like you own a magic chocolate factory.
I think it's important for parents to let kids embrace and emerge in their own identity.
I don't try to change you, you don't try to change me.
We were able to watch this evolution. There was some place for the characters, this boy go and his father go. At the heart of that relationship was this just real grounded love between father and son.
I now pronounce you wife and wife, and husband and husband. You may kiss one another.
When they wrote that storyline, that was when teen suicides, and because of cyberbullying and all that, was really at its highest point. To be on TV kind of telling the story and illustrating how this may happen and what events could lead to that. I've had people reach out to me and say that their parents took them back in after having disowning them for being gay.
You said last week you wanted to be friends. I'd like that.
And now he's living this new life from a reformed homophobic bully to an out proud man, and it's great.
Wait, you guys know each other? Yeah, we went out a few times.
Wait, is that Dave Karofsky? It's Patrick.
I've had women, say that, they had been in abusive relationships, and this show gave them the strength to get out of that. Say hello to Coach Sheldon Beast. I had seen Ryan at the 100th episode party. He said, I have big plans for you this season. It was to be a trans man, and this is so important. These folks need a voice, and I'm glad that I got to do it.
What are you exactly? You an Oreo or a lightly toasted cracker? Shalom!
And as the show went on, I think we just kept trying to find, who's marginalized, who we haven't, touched on.
Some days it sucks being me. This is one of those days.
At the end, there's very few. We covered most of our bases.
The only thing that can really protect me is what they have at Dalton. The zero tolerance, no bullying policy.
Well, we always joke, what have we not tackled? What issue have we not talked about?
Don't text and drive, ever. It's the stupidest thing I've ever done.
Whether it's something that people roll their eyes at or something that people really gravitate towards, at the end of the day, someone's talking about it. To me, the victory is in the discussion.
But no matter where we go, no matter where we are, we will always be here in spirit, and we will always be supporting you.
Well, especially this season, I think the whole feeling was a sense of home, feeling comfortable, feeling safe.
It's a tough world out there, and it can be really cruel. And this was a safe place, this choir room, where these kids came in to have each other's backs, where they knew they were not only accepted for who they were, but celebrated.
It's so great to have you all together in this room again. It means so much to us that you would come at the drop of a hat.
And that's why those kids kept coming back. We tried to graduate them. We tried to put them into the world, and they keep coming back.
Glee to me is about the relationships I've made.
Glee is just super powerful.
It just means happy, finding your happiness.
Love. It's about love.
It's family. Just because,
That's what I was gonna say.
Gift of a lifetime.
I don't know if I can bring it down to one word. I'm a writer. It's usually more words than that.
Glee to me is about joy.
By its very definition, Glee is about opening yourself up to joy. And I really feel like that's exactly what this experience has done for all of us.
I want to dedicate this award to the person who's responsible for getting me on this stage tonight, and that is Mr. Will Schuester.
My biggest thing that I'm gonna take from Glee is the impact that we had for arts schools, for the arts in general, the dying programs that have been in the schools that are now thriving again.
Dreams really do come true, so thank you.
Dreams come true. It happens. You never know. You never know when it's gonna happen. You're gonna get that call one day and you're gonna have to move to LA and it's gonna be a dream.
One of the takeaways from all of Glee is if people have an artistic idea or an artistic inkling, to foster it and let them go pursue it. Because the world will tell them whether or not what they're doing is of value. You know, best of luck. Right? I mean, it's basically best of luck to all of us. Hope you meet someone who's nice.
These walls and all these picture frames, every name they show. These halls I've walked 1,000 times, heartbreaks and valentines, friends of
All right. See you in Glee Club tomorrow.
I wrote, don't let anyone tell you that show choir is lame, even though we all know it actually is.
To all, be a good person. Sometimes it's hard to do, but life is better when kindness rules. Mike O'Malley.
Magic is the only way to describe my experience and relationships born of this show, Glee. Gratitude bomb.
Nice to saw ya. Keep on keeping on.
I love you guys. Don't give up. And dream big. Love, Mother Potter.
I wrote, it's all about the love.
Mine says, congrats, you're the Gleek of the week.
And mine says, Glee, don't stop believing. Love, Jacob.
Glee, the gift of a lifetime. I take with me friendships and love for our cast and crew. Love and power. Jones.
I wrote, well, that happened. Who's hungry?
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
I said, Dear Glee, if you want to know how I feel about you, read the scripts.
Loving yourself isn't always so easy, but nothing worth doing ever is, so just do it.
Stay true to who you are, love hard, breathe deep, never forget you are enough. Thank you for the good times, and I am stronger because of you. Love, Tina C.
I wrote, be yourself. Everyone else is already taken.
Dear Glee, you win. After all these years, you win. Congrats and thanks for everything. Love, Harry.
Glee is about opening yourself up to joy, and that it did.
Says, what a wild ride. Can I go again, please? Matthew Morrison.